Welcome to another edition of Break Fake Rules. This is our little show that we do on philanthropy and the rules that we follow, the fake rules that we follow, and we encourage everyone to break them. And today we are in a very exciting location with a very exciting person. We are at the Forward Global Summit at the Skirball Center in Los Angeles with a whole group of people. And we are here with the amazing Sarah Longwell, who a year ago was part of our first season. This is our second season, in case you didn't notice on the YouTube right there below the screen. And it was so long ago, no one knew who you were. You've now become this rising star that everyone knows. Is that right?
I mean, I think I was a rising star then, and I'm a star now, but that's fine. That's fine. Whatever you think, however you want to characterize it.
So we're going to try to weave philanthropy into this, but we are in this interesting time. It's an exciting time. All this great stuff is happening in the world. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I feel great about it.
Let's talk about autocracy a little bit. Just want to take us to a soft, quiet, and dressed, really nice place. You know, it's interesting. We talk a lot about rules on this show. We talk about fake rules, real rules. And in the world of autocracy, your goal is to create a whole bunch of new rules that people follow to get them to conform. At least that's how I understand it. And maybe we're feeling that. Would you say that's going on right now, Sarah?
Yeah, but it's interesting because the way that it is dressed up is actually the autocrats are the insurgents, right? Like right now, the way that the right positions itself, and you want to talk about fake rules. I think one of the first things that needs to go is the sense that we are on some kind of linear political, like that there's the right and the left and the center. No. Like that is not really a thing anymore, and we can talk more about why. But yeah, I think that it's not so much that they're like here with, okay, we want to impose all these things. What they're saying is the order, the entrenched order, the institutions, they're all failing you, right? The media's out to get you and they're lying to you. The government has been, abusing everything, and so we need to tear it down. And so what's interesting is that we are right now, what they're doing, there's like something inherently destructive about everything they're doing, and they're positioning themselves as the insurgent party, which is actually why it's tough for them to govern at the moment, because you hear somebody like Akash Patel or somebody else in the administration be like, Elon did this the other day. Well, you can't trust the government. Cool, bro. You're the government now. And they're having to adjust to the fact. And so the way that they dress it up, right? And this is why so many people, I think, feel so disoriented in this moment. And everybody's like, down is up is down, is because they position what they're doing as, saving things or saving you from the people. Like there's this jujitsu where Trump is like, I'm going to sue a pollster but also I'm the free speech president.
Right.
I'm going to shut down 60 Minutes because they put out they edited the interview with Kamala Harris. I'm going to sue them. I'm the free speech president.
Right.
The other side doesn't do free speech. And so by engaging that way, that is why people feel disoriented by things.
That's the process. It's interesting that you're bringing that up. How do you counter that?
Okay. This is a hard question because it's basically like, how do you combat all the mis and disinformation? How do you combat? In
20 minutes, please.
Waves and waves. I'm going to try and do it in like 3. What do you do? I mean, this is where their story would be, and this is that people will try to suppress what they're doing, the free speech. But like the only way you counter bad information is with good information. That's it. Like we are in a communications battle. The level of disruption of the last decade has created, any 2 idiots with a microphone now can go ahead and have a podcast. We're doing it right now. And so like,
that's the only way I get hired.
Yeah, that's, and so to some degree, like what's happened is information has been democratized, right? Everybody's got a camera, everybody's got a phone, everyone can voice their opinion, which means there's no filtration with that. There's no and in some ways you could say, well, look, this is the pure democratization of information. But of course, it's leading to all kinds of algorithms that promote all the worst information, conflict merchants that want us to hate each other because it gets them clicks, people who want to drive our rage. Like, how are you going to combat that is an enormous question. But the answer is also like, the antidote is always going to be with good information, with principled leadership. Take me at the point of like things that are steeped in facts, things that are concrete that we could agree like are true. Like, for example, just give you one. Who invaded whom in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, right? So we have a president of the United States who says that Ukraine invaded Russia. Now, we all know that to not be true. We must say that that is not true, but they have an enormous echo chamber that is on sort of a spectrum of, yes, this is true, we're agreeing with this, we're going to say this is also true, to, well, it's not quite true, but let me make an excuse, and, you know, and that's what you're up against. And so building, and so there's a couple things. One is, because this goes to like, what am I trying to do, or what is the bulwark trying to do? So obviously, we want to create media that is grounded in facts, but the number one thing that I feel like we're doing right now that has kind of changed the game in terms of why people are coming to us and why we've experienced so much growth is that the level of fear that you are seeing out of the traditional media to say the truth in the face of these lies. Because why did ABC settle the lawsuit where they were completely right? They would have won that lawsuit. Why did they settle it? Because Disney wanted them to settle it because they got stuff in front of the federal government. Why would Paramount or why would CBS settle? Because Paramount has these issues. And so I think the one thing, and I think this is, as we see media disintegrate around us and independent media rise in its place, that has some benefits and it has some detractions. Now, part of it is that independent media on the right is now incredibly robust, and it is there as an engine to take the things that Donald Trump says and turn it into a reality for people. So we have to do that, I think, by saying, like, actually, no, that's not the reality, but we've got to figure out how to scale that. Like, the bulwark's not going to do it by itself. And I think that in politics, there's been so much reliance on traditional media to be the sort of sorter of facts and things, and people are going to have to start realizing that that is going away. Is just not going to be there for much longer. And I see you've got like Robert Reich over there, and he's like on Substack. This is where everything is going. I do think the bulwark is at the forefront of where things are going to be, which is personality-driven media. Because as people try to figure out who they can trust now, because the absence of trust is at the center of so much of this, especially with the media, what people are doing is they're saying, okay, I don't trust CNN, or like people will trust individuals, and they will, and these independent media brands that say, I am this, like I can tell you who I am, what I stand for, and they're like, okay, well, I'm coming for that. So when we say we're a pro-democracy publication, that's like roughly in the center because people know it's a bunch of expats kind of from the right. But even that, like, it's so much of it has dissolved in terms of what right and left even mean now that people just see us as a pro-democracy space that is pushing back and telling the truth and doing it without the fear that seems to be dominating so many other media companies at the moment.
Yeah, and I think when I think about, there you go.
Oh,
very
thanks,
much.
Man.
It's interesting to think that I appreciate your point that what's being established here is something different than an ideological spectrum. It's really around facts and truth. And that is extremely challenging, especially when, I just want to say for the audiences that are not here right now, so Bob Reich is not here, but there are lots of images in here. This is a very broken apart media landscape that you have entered into in a forceful way. So we have, I'm sure, a number of people in here right now that are investing in many ways in media. A lot of people in here have funded documentaries. Where do they go today to fund facts?
All right. So I do think if you're in philanthropy and you want to think about the media, here's the main thing I would say. You cannot just put money into things. Like if you said, man, you know what I think? I think people want a show about climate change. No, they don't. I promise you they won't listen to a show about climate change. 100% they won't. And so
some people would. There are probably a few in here that would, but you're talking about
a show every week about, I mean, maybe. Everyone thinks that everybody wants but here's what I think that the bulwark has done. I think we talk authentically to people. They feel like they know us. They feel like they can trust us. I think authenticity is now the coin of the realm.
Yeah.
And I'll give you another example. When people talk about it being the podcast election 2024, I cannot tell you how much Democrats lived in the old media environment while Republicans lived in the new media environment. When you say, okay, well, we're gonna spend 5 days prepping and then have Kamala and Tim Walz sit down with Dana Bash on CNN, and everybody's like, oh, okay, there's this one interview. I'm like, meanwhile, JD Vance is doing 20 podcasts a day, sitting like this with his bros, talking about whatever, and way more people saw him, way more people related to him, and Donald Trump did it too. They were Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is a movie I did not like, but is the communication strategy we need to go forward. I hate the fragmented universe thing, whatever that is. But from a communication standpoint, being everywhere, going all of these places, and that's why just building your own corollary media ecosystem, I'm not against anybody building new stuff. In fact, I'm pro building new stuff. But don't let philanthropy prop up a bunch of things that's not going to have an audience. You are going to need to find things that the audience wants.
Except for this show.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Thank you.
Do this.
Just for the record.
Well, this is for you, by you.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's different.
There you go.
But then it's good. It knows its audience, right? Let me finish this one thought, because this is also really key to how the media environment's changing. So the Joe Rogan, like at least those people, you think about the podcast, but then there's everything now has a vertical, right? People are wellness types. They talk about like wellness issues. They talk about physical, like bodybuilding, sports, all of the things that people, they infuse it with politics, right? And so I think, is it getting hot in here or what? This is what's happening to the media.
It was by design.
It's like a physical manifestation of what's going on.
Again, for those of you who are not in here, these are not actual people falling on the ground. They are posters of people falling. The media is crashing around us.
It is.
In a metaphorical way.
And so the extent to which politics, it's always been true that politics is downstream from culture. And I think that if I had to like sum it up, it would be that politics and culture are now not different. These things are not separate now, right? The way that our ecosystem works is they're all intertwined in ways that that I think is going to have a profound impact on our politics going forward.
But you also said something very important I think everyone heard here, that is speak up and provide cover.
Yeah, guys, this is a lot of times people sit in these rooms and they're like, why doesn't so-and-so do such and such? I mean, we're the ones we're looking for. Nobody else is going to do this thing. So the job is for everybody who's in a position to speak up, to encourage others to do it themselves, to not let that fear chill you, to not think your circumstances are unique, and that's why you get to have a pass and be quiet, and I hope other people will do the heavy lifting. Like, it's not going to happen. And so fund people who are willing to put their names on things and willing to go out there, and like organizations that are going to be like, oh, I'm going to lay low. Like, no, we have to change the whole vibe of the country right now.
So let's wrap up as we like to wrap up on the show. What is that fake rule, the one that you want to leave everybody with, that you think you really have to break today?
Well, there's a lot that I could do, but the kick that I'm on right now is something that I said at the beginning around everybody's got to let go of the idea in their head that there is a right and a left and a center and like a normal politics. You know, again, I'm not huge on the performative stuff, but the woman, the congresswoman who was holding the little sign that said, this is not normal, is correct. And so don't normalize things. Like, we have to say it's not normal. And part of that, but for us, and if you're in the business of trying to figure it out, right, then you are going to read 1,000 grant proposals that talk about the right or the left. Well, maybe you won't because it's C3. But you know the coded language that people use to say. And you need to stop, and I think just stopping to think that people exist on that plane and that everything is different now. And if you understand everything is different and throw out a lot of that old way of thinking about politics, you will at least start from a place that I think understands better what is happening.
I just want to say, you are a true leader. You are that person you were just talking about. You have great courage and bravery, and we are so, so grateful that you would come on your birthday, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
To be with us today. Really. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Good job. Good podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone here at Skirball, and thank you for joining us for another exciting edition of Break Fake Rules. Come back next time, because I promise you we're going to keep breaking more. Thank you for tuning in to Break Fake Rules. Subscribe to the Stupski Foundation YouTube channel to watch videos of each episode, and join the conversation with me on LinkedIn.